even though it should be nothing more than terrain. The moment it is seen from above, something unsettling begins to emerge. There should be no trace of life, and yet it feels as if a gaze alone has been left behind. Is it merely a coincidence of overlapping elements? Or is it the way our perception works? In the central region of the African continent, within the Sahara Desert, in the Tibesti Mountains of northern Chad, there exists a massive collapsed landform, formed by past eruptions that caused the surface to cave in. A caldera nearly 1 kilometer in both diameter and depth took shape. Inside, salt crystals spread across the ground, where white, desiccated earth and dark mounds lie scattered. Seen from the ground, it is nothing more than uneven terrain and deposits. An inorganic landscape without meaning. However, when the perspective pulls back, the arrangement of white and shadow begins to fall into a certain alignment. Hollow-like undulations and pale surfaces that seem stripped away. When they come together as a single form, it leaves behind the impression of something like a decayed will. Is this truly nothing more than terrain? Or is it something that was pushed out along with magma? After the eruption, was it only the shape that remained? It should be nothing more than a grassland. Yet at times, something unsettling appears. In central Kyushu, Kumamoto Prefecture, Kusasenri lies within the outer rim of Mount Aso. Carved by volcanic activity, wide grasslands and shallow ponds dot the landscape. From the ground, it appears as nothing more than gentle slopes and calm water surfaces. There is no particular meaning to be found in it. However, when the viewpoint is lifted and water levels and light converge, several depressions and shadows connect, forming an arrangement that resembles a gaze. Once that impression is noticed, even when you look away, a sense of being watched lingers. However, that form is not constant, emerging and dissolving with the water level. It spans roughly several hundred meters. Only when the conditions align does its presence emerge intermittently. What lies there? Is it merely a sequence of landforms? Or is it something that appears only in fleeting moments? Once you have seen it, can you truly escape that gaze? In remote waters, far beyond human reach, isolated islands receive the waves in silence. At the edge of the southern hemisphere, in the French southern and Antarctic lands, on these isolated islands, exposed to powerful winds and waves, a complex terrain of rocks and shallows spreads across the landscape. Seen from afar, it is nothing more than waves endlessly breaking, with no meaningful shapes to be found anywhere. However, when the viewpoint is raised, there are places where rocks and white spray form strange outlines. When the blue of the sea overlaps with them, it looks as though something is leaking through. Once it appears that way, your gaze is drawn back to it again and again. Only a few hundred meters stand out as a separate, distinct form. Is it merely an overlap of waves and rocks? Or is it a configuration never meant to be seen, that we have unwittingly picked up on? 3 locations. 3 completely different landscapes. And yet, Familiar outlines appeared again and again. Hollows like eye sockets. Ridges like cheekbones. White gashes like rows of teeth. Is this a coincidence? Or is our perception simply searching for the same patterns over and over? When you happen to find that same outline somewhere, would you be able to ignore it?